What is going on, guys? I am back with a new episode of the car series, and yeah, so today we're gonna be focusing on creating a new system for our car, basically a GUI system on which we're gonna display a speedometer with a needle which is gonna be rotating from 0 to 180 degree according to the speed. Now this is going to be pretty easy, and we're going to be introducing to a new function called onGUI, which is built in inside of Unity. So let me just jump onto the tutorial, and yeah. And one more thing, guys, that I'm working on a really high resolution right now, and my computer is not powerful enough to handle that while recording, so you might experience some lags in this video on Unity. So I'm really sorry about that. I can't fix it right now. So yeah, let's move on to it. Alright, so here is the Unity, and you can see it's lagging like hell, and damn it, I don't really like that. So what we're gonna be doing is let's just open up the car script, and we're gonna be using all the code that we're gonna be putting is gonna be inside of this car script. So let's open it up. And there we go. Alright, so we're gonna be creating two more variables today, and these variables are gonna be, the first variable is gonna be a texture 2D of type. Now this gonna be holding a texture of speedometer dial, I guess only the dial. So I'm just gonna go speedometer dial, and it is going to be an of type texture 2D. Now what this means is it is in a variable with the name speedometer dial, and it is an of type texture 2D. Now texture 2D is basically a type of variable which holds 2D textures. And you probably know about that. Alright, so we're going to create one more variable which is going to be speedometer pointer, and BDW, what this is gonna be like, what this speedometer is gonna be like is gonna be analog speedometer. So it's gonna be pointer, which is gonna be needle, basically pointer, and for that you need two textures. Now you can create it in any image editing software, but I created in GIMP, which is a free software. Alright, so I have two images over here, and the first image is of a needle. Now if you look at the properties, and one more thing, guys, this is transparent, means the transparency on, so yeah, it's a really good thing for you to use in a GUI. Alright, so if you go to the details, you can see that dimensions are 515 by 512. Now it's kind of a square shape, but I don't know why it got 515, but I was making it 512 by 512, but it exported as 515, but who cares. And the second image is of into the details, you will see is of dimensions 512 times 256, means the width of this image is 512 and 256 is the height. Now this image is just a half in the size compared to its width. It's because of a reason, and you'll get that in a second. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the Unity and import it to the Unity. First, go to the artwork folder and create a new folder. This folder is gonna be, let's say, GUI. Alright, now we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna drag these two in like this. And there you go. Now select both of these images and go GUI, click on GUI and apply. Now they are gonna be using a really good filter for GUI. If you don't want to do that, don't do that. You will get terrible results in GUI. Alright, so let's move on to our code, and there you go. We have two variables over here. Now we're gonna assign these two variables. Go to the car, and we have two more variables over here. We're gonna go needle to the pointer and the speedometer to the dial. Alright, now what we have to do is One more thing, guys. I haven't have I haven't have created this image. I have downloaded it from somewhere, and I don't remember. It was free actually, so I have downloaded. I didn't invest the time to make that up. Alright, so the link of these two files is in description, so if you want that, you can get it. The download link is in the description. So let's move on to the code, and let's move on at the really bottom. And the bottom, create a new function on GUI. Now this function has its own definition inside of Unity 3D. Alright, so you don't have to worry about that. This you don't have to call it from don't have to call it from anywhere. We're gonna work fine. Alright, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna draw the texture onto the screen. Alright, to the 2D screen, which is just the space that you can see without the camera. So we're gonna draw it onto the 2D workspace. Wait, I'm opening this. Alright, now for that we're gonna use a function called GUI draw texture. Now GUI draw texture is a really good thing. Let me show you. GUI draw. Oh, sorry, it is capital GUI. Sorry, GUI dot draw texture draw texture is a function, and we're gonna draw a texture. And if you look at it over here, there you can see that it is saying the position of the image using rect, and with a scale mode, and the texture with the alpha blend or anything. So we're gonna be using one more term called rect. Now this rect function has 4 parameters in it. The first 2 parameters are positions on X and Y respectively, and the second 2 parameters, the last 2 parameters are size X and Y respectively. So first 2 are gonna be something like let's say we're gonna put it like 500. 0,0 would be good. Alright, now scale size, I'm gonna put it as 150 by 150 by 300. Alright, now let's just go ahead and check this one out, if this is working or not. Errors. Oh yeah, I didn't put it a parenthesis over here. And also you have to tell what texture you're drawing, so it is called Speedometer dial. Speedometer dial. M is capital. Alright, this shouldn't give any error this time. Alright, now let's just check it out. No, it lags like hell. What the hell? Oh yeah, flip the axis. Sorry. It's gonna be, let's say, 300 by 150. Save it. Let's just check it out. Alright, so you can see we have the texture over here. Now there's a problem. Usually the people don't want their texture to be displayed over here, but if you want, you can put it like that. But some people really don't like that, so they want their texture to be here like I do. So what you can do is you can just simply fill in the values, but you will get a problem. Let me show you what is that. So it's gonna be 500 by 300, and you will see what the problem is. Wait. Alright, there we go. There is the what's called dial texture. And if now some people doesn't have the same resolution every time. They might have bigger resolution, they might have a really low resolution. So if you trim it on, you will see that the texture got carved off in the view, and that's what we don't want. So we need to fix that. I want my texture to be displayed over here. Sorry. Sorry. Again. over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over here and I'm gonna access a value, let's say screen dot width. Now this will gonna take the value out of the resolution. According to the resolution, how many pixels are available from here to here. Alright, so this is a very useful command in GUI. So I'm gonna go screen dot width and I'm gonna subtract it with the negative 300 because I want my texture to be displayed somewhat like over here. You know, if the texture is 300 in width, you have to minus 300 in this from the total width to make it tile at this position. Alright, so it's gonna be minus 300, and the screen dot height is gonna be, let's say, because this texture is already in half, I don't really want to subtract it with any value, but I'm just gonna go screen dot height, and there's the problem that the pivot of this texture, let me show you. The pivot of this texture is at this point, sorry, at this point, and because this is the point, it's 0 0, we need to subtract some value which is half of its size. So my size on the y-axis is 150, so I'm going to subtract 150 from it, so negative 150. Alright, so this should be tiled up this time. Let's go ahead and check it out. There you go. If I change the resolution, you can see that it is tiling up with that point. Now this is what you need. Now for confirmation, you can check it out over here, that if I tile it up, we're going to tile with that position. I messed up. Alright, so we're going to go white. I like this view a lot. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go over here and we're going to type in some more code. Now we need one variable, which is going to be the speed factor. Now this speed factor variable is going to be an update float, which is going to be equals to current speed upon top speed, and you'll get that why I'm doing this in a second. Don't worry about that. And I guess I don't get any error. Yes, it's working really slow. Now we're gonna draw the pointer, but we need one more variable, which is gonna be the rotation angle. Now is also gonna be an update float. You know, let's say we might get some error, so I'm just gonna go mathf dot lerp. Now lerp has 3 parameters in it. The first parameter is from float, to float, and as float. Now from float I'm gonna set it to 0, and to float I'm gonna set it to 180, and I'll tell you why I'm doing this in a second. And I'm gonna set the last parameter to speed factor. Alright, now what this means is speed factor is a division of the current speed by top speed. So if the current speed is at the top speed, it will gonna become 1, and the value of this mathf function will gonna become 180, and if it is 0, it means the current speed is 0, the car is in a static position, it will gonna be 0. So that's what it means. It depends on the ratio from depends on the decimal values from 0 to 1, and yeah, that's all it means. So why I use 0 and 180? This is your question, so I'm going to tell you why I use this. Now if you look at it over to this needle, it is pointing in this direction, and my dial is if I'm going to put my this needle over here, you will see that the needle should be rotated from 0 degree to 180 degrees. Get it? 0 degree from 180 degrees. Alright, so that's what we need. Because my needle is pointing in this direction, you might have a needle pointing in this direction or this direction. You have to use some more values. You need to add some values, like if you have in this direction, you have to add 190 degrees to it, and if you have it in this direction, you can use it from 0 to 180. Simple. So I'm gonna use that. That's why I'm using this one to rotate it from 0 degree to 180 degree according to the speed. And yeah, that's all it means. Now what we need is to draw the needle. Now what we're gonna do is to draw the needle is we're gonna use the exact same function that we used over here. So we're gonna copy that function to draw the needle, and we're gonna paste it over here. Now over here I'm gonna go speedometer pointer. Alright, so this will gonna display the pointer, and because my image is square, I'm gonna use this one as 300 also, but I'm gonna use this as 150 and this as 300 because I want my image position to be at at the really bottom. It's what can I say is center point to be at the very bottom of the screen. That's what I need. So that's why I put it there 150. I didn't change the value, so let's just go ahead and check it out. Let's just click on play, and there you go. We have the pointer over here, we have the dial over here. Now if we start the game, you can see that it is not moving. It is not really moving at all. So we're gonna pause that one. We're gonna add some more code to it. Now over here, you're gonna skip this line. You go over here, and over here we're gonna put one more thing called GUI utility. Now I will put the link in the description so that you can read the documentation, but if you go over here, GUI utility is nothing but a class which contains a lot of important or useful GUI functions. So there's a function called rotate around pivot. Now if you click over here, you can see that it has a rotation angle and a pivot point. Now I told you what pivot point is. It is the point from where an object can be rotated. So we're gonna tell the computer what its pivot point is, and then we're gonna draw the image to rotate it. Alright, so it's gonna be pretty easy. Let's move on to it, and we're gonna go ahead and type GUI utility. Is there a GUI utility? I don't know. Screw that. We're gonna go GUI utility dot rotate around pivot, and we're gonna be having first as angle as float, which is gonna be the rotation angle. We're gonna be putting over here, and the other ones are 2 points, I guess, the pivot points. Alright, so the pivot points are gonna be a vector2 variable with x and y values. Now we're gonna be putting these values by assigning some by using those same screen.width and screen.height function. It's gonna be pretty easy. So it's gonna go CRWN screen.width minus 300, which is our scalar size on the y-axis, and screen.height as a pivot point, and we're good to go now. So we have the I guess this one is gonna be 150, not 300. Alright, so this is gonna be 150, so it's gonna be in the very center of the texture. It's gonna be over here from the y-axis. Let's say over here, and by adding onto the y on the whole value of the on the y-axis, you will get the point over here if you have a total square image. Okay, so let's move on to it and check it out. Alright, so let's move it. And you can see that our what you can say needle is rotating. Now there's a problem. When you stop your car and make it go reverse, see what's gonna happen. Nothing is gonna happen because there's no value below 0 we have assigned to the loop action. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna detect at what are we reversing or not. That's what we're gonna detect. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put if statement over here. Alright, so we're gonna go rotation angle as a float. We're gonna end this statement, and we're gonna go over here and we're gonna create an if statement, which is gonna be saying make sure you have this out from the statement, and you're gonna type here current speed is greater than or equal to 0. And if this statement is true, what you have to do is to set the rotation angle to this, and else we need the speed factor to be in negative. Alright, so even if we are going back, we have a magnitude in positive. Alright, so we're gonna go over here and add a negative sign over here, and this will gonna work fine, I mean, I guess. And we're gonna click over there, and it should work fine. Alright, so we're gonna speed it up, and there you can see we have the needle going up. And we're gonna go back, and you can see we have the needle going up again, and that's what we need. So there are all the links in the description. If you want anything, you can go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions, you can ask me on my Facebook page or leave it in the comment. But you know, YouTube is not working as well as we have expected. The comments are not showing in my comment box. So there's a problem in that. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask me on Facebook. Or if I didn't answer those questions, someone will put you in the right direction, because there are a lot of people who are really helpful and really friendly. There are a lot of guys. So be sure to ask me anything, anywhere, anytime. Actually, you can ask only on Facebook, so yeah. Alright, so I hope sure that you like this video, and if you do, please make sure that you have liked this video. And if you like my other videos, be sure to subscribe so that you cannot miss any of the upcoming episode. And one more thing, guys, that this is the second last episode of this series. The next episode is gonna be on the crash effects, and no, I don't think it's the second last episode, but it's maybe a third last episode, but it is almost the last episode. So in the next episode, I'm going to be showing you how you can create a crash sound and a crash sparking effect onto this car, and it's going to be real quick. And after that, I'm going to be starting a AI tutorial series on which we're going to create an artificial intelligence for our game. So that one is going to be really cool because I got a lot of requests for that, and I will do that. Don't worry about that. Alright, so I'll catch you in my next episode. Till then, goodbye, guys. Thanks for all your support, and I'll catch you in my next episode. Till then, goodbye. All the resources are in the description. Bye, guys.